Greetings everyone and welcome to a new series for the channel. We are going to be returning to StoneHearth. Now the last time I played StoneHearth it was on a stream and I merely uploaded the VODs to YouTube, but this one is going to be a recorded for YouTube series, so there is going to be more editing involved, there's going to be more deliberation over things, there's going to be more time taken with the series, and you can probably expect that during times where there's not so much happening, we may see more time skipping and general editing magic to make the series more pleasant experience for the viewer. That said, we are going to be playing it a little bit different from the stream series, and specifically, we are going to be playing with mods. The chief amongst them is the authorized community expansion. You can all but think of this as a official expansion. It is largely an official expansion. It is authorized, thereby official. But as far as I'm concerned, this is an expansion on the vanilla gameplay in the direction the devs intended to take it. From what I can tell, this is not only with their permission, it is with their blessing. We are also going to have extra map options, which is just going to give us a little bit of more control over the starting region and just setting up the map specifically. And finally, workshop inventory display, which is a pure quality of life mod. It just lets me see what items I have in storage of a particular craft whilst I'm trying to make it. So instead of having to guess how many window frames I happen to have on hand and also deployed across the colony, it'll show me that in the display where I'm ordering them. But those are the only mods that we're going to be using for this run. Now let's go ahead and save that up and hopefully get back out. It takes a few seconds because it has to revalidate the mods. But so all of these mods are available on the Steam Workshop. I will, if I remember, pop some links in the video description below, or if not links, then at least a paste bin, which will have all of the links to it. I don't imagine that I'm going to be adding mods during the series, but you never know, so I am open to suggestions, specifically on Discord in the StoneHearth channel, which will hopefully exist by the time this video goes live, if I remember. But we're going to go ahead and begin the game. This is a story of a brave band of settlers from... We are going to go... Well, previously we went with the Northern Alliance, and they are still by far and away my favourite. For now, though, we're going to be going with Rayya's children. The Ace mod will soon be adding dwarves to the game, and I reserve the right to choose them as my new favourite once they arrive. But we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to be going with a kind of more of a desert nomad people. The people of the desert learned early that to survive they needed each other, and preferably as many others as they could reach. Now, visitors find them generous hosts with access to goods from all over the world. Marvellous. A society of charming, wily traders. Seeking new lands and adventure, they set off to... Now, we've got the traditional biomes. You've got the temperate forest, which is the traditional home of the Ascendancy. The desert, which is favoured for our people. And the reason why it's favoured and why it is generally advisable to go with the favoured biome is because the tech progression of Rayya's children is different. Every faction has a different tech progression, and Rayya's children typically use clay in the same way the Northern Alliance uses stone. And so starting in the desert where clay is abundant is probably a bit of a better idea. However, the astute will notice that we also have the highlands. This is going to be the biome of the dwarves, eventually, once they are added, which is not very far away from what I understand. But we're going to be going with the desert, dry and sandy, with chunky hills and sparse vegetation, default home of Rayya's children. The desert of Palmun, a location that something. We are absolutely going to be going with hard. I didn't manage to win the stream game. In fact, we failed hilariously. That has not dampened my spirit or my desire to face slightly harder odds. We're going to face a more difficult monster menace than normal mode. There we go. It's sure to be a daunting place to start anew. Marvellous. Now then, we are going to need to select our 5 starting, adventurers, traders, Caravaners. Now, I'm not going to force you to hang around, but we will be selecting names from the patron name list. So all of those who are being fantastically generous and keeping my ferrets in a lap of luxury that is, abundant jingle balls and lots of fluffy blankets shall automatically be considered here. But in the future, we will be plucking names both from the patron name list and from the comments on the videos. So if you are interested in future citizens, do let me know down below. But I will bring you back when we've rolled some interesting starting citizens. And there we go. So we've got Lady Wolfheart, Big Al, Soulwind, Bubbles, and Plumber Smack. We are going to have 2 animal companions in the group, which I'm actually quite pleased with. And generally speaking, we've got very middling stats for the most part, with a few exceptions here and there. Big Al, for example, fairly high body, quite high spirit. I know exactly where you're going, Big Al. But that is going to be it for us. We haven't got very much in the way and spread of abilities, and none from the Ace mod that I can see. A few of the random rerolls that we had some interesting ones, but with fairly low stats. So I'd rather the initial citizens have a bit of a better chance of making it. So with that, let's go ahead. Now, we've got a lot of different options here. We've got money solves all problems, a risky but potentially very beneficial choice. It all depends on when and what traders arrive. We'd start with quite a lot of cash and not very much else. We would be able to start doing a little bit of weaving, but that again would rely on us getting some materials for that. We could have a noble entourage, a small collection of high value items, and professions for an oddly specialized beginning. Not everyone might eat venison, nor are there beds for all. So what? They're not meant for anyone, just for some very special and important halfling. Or so they say. That is everyone else following them into the wild. I mean, that is quite amusing. Money solves all problems. Anything that the town needs, they should be able to purchase from a trader. That is, presuming one finds them and has the proper goods for sale. Military expedition. These halflings might sleep out in the cold and lack some food variety during the first days, true, but it is doubtful that any pesky wolves or goblins will ruin their days later on. A military-focused loadout for those who prefer to ensure their safety before everything else. Now, that is quite an interesting one. The dummy there is made out of pots, and that is just so amazing. We've also got a merchant caravan. A collection of trade tools should give the settlement a leg up in the wilderness. A good collection of craft skills, but short on food. Not that short on food, I'll be honest. It does have a trapper, so access to make more food, and a herbalist to heal, but only 1 footman's sword, whereas the military expedition has an archer and a footman, so the archer could at least hunt. The noble entourage does have a trapper, and then finally food for days. The large amount of food crammed into the back of the caravan should keep the halflings going for a handful of days while they get their settlement up and running. A safe option for new players, though lacking in defense. You'll notice we've got thatch here, which is not something that we were playing around with in the stream game. Ace adds a lot of complexity to the game. A lot more is involved in doing pretty much anything. So it'll be a bit of an interesting one. That would start with a farmer, and I am tempted. But honestly, it's going to come down to merchant caravan and military expedition. I think my heart is with military expedition, so that's the one we're going to be going for to start with. Now, we're not going to have a herbalist, so we have no easy progress to a cleric early on, but we'll have to see what we can do. Now then, we have custom world options, and this is part of the world map mod. Currently, we've got a fairly small little window there. Let's go to custom world options. I would like it to be large. Max quantity of all of these sorts of things. Yeah, let's have narrow rivers. Max quantity, let's say 3. Locations, plains, foothills, and mountains. Lakes, sure, we could turn on Skylands now. I will show that just briefly, just to show it. It might not generate, yeah, I might need to restrict everything else, but Skylands is, well, as you might imagine, Skylands also, because our map is large, we've got a gigantic playfield. Almost the entire map if we want it to be. And yes, this is basically what it looks like. You're on rocks floating in the sky, and maybe, if there's interest, we'll play on this in some future series, because I can't imagine that I'm not going to be coming back to this at some point. But for now, we might even, if this is a successful embarkation, I guess. We may end up coming back here just as soon as we decide that our time here has been successful. But we'll get to that in the future. That's very much pie in the sky right now. But yeah, it's a sky world, and you would have to bridge across the gaps. It would be very, very interesting. But for now, we're going to leave that on. We will allow dirt holes. We will allow lakes. And I would like, well, let's have a few more. Let's put 5. It's not to say that we'll get 5. We're just saying we can have them. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and generate a new map and see what we're going to have. Now, the seasons for Rayya's children, the seasons for the desert are a bit different. We can hover over these, and it should tell us a little bit more about it. Spring in the desert is a wet season, lasting 2 months. It is a rare time for the water reserves to be replenished, leading to local flora to all bloom at once. Daytime sunlight levels are good. Slightly dry season. The summer in the desert is the storm season, lasting 4 months. Sandstorms ravage the landscape on an almost daily basis, and a town without ample shelter, be it walls, mountains, or underground dwellings, may have trouble surviving the onslaught. Daytime sunlight levels are excessive. Unbearably dry season. Autumn in the desert is the quiet season, lasting 4 months. The weather is hot, but milder than in the summer, with neither sandstorms nor precipitation. It is traditionally a time to rest after surviving the sandstorms of the summer. Daytime sunlight levels are good. Quiet, dry season. We've got a nice big old chunky lake, river, moving all the way through with a couple of little spots like oases around the place. And then finally winter. Winter in the desert is a cool season lasting 2 months. Breezes blow over the dunes, bringing with them milder weather than the autumn, and even the occasional snow cloud. Daytime levels are average. Extremely dry season. We're going to be starting in the autumn for obvious reasons. We are going to be starting with this ginormous playfield as well, so we're going to be able to do quite a lot in here. We could just plonk it down right in the middle. I don't see much of a reason not to. Sure. Donk. There we go. We're going to settle right there. And now we're going to generate the world. It'll take a few moments. I'll bring you back when we're done. And there we go. Welcome everyone to a fantastically gigantic world that we have here. Look at this. Look upon it. All of this vastness is ours to claim. Though it may fight back. That might be a problem. Now, water in Ace Mod is a lot more important than it was in the vanilla game. Let's have a look around though. We want to make sure we pick a nice spot. Any interesting features, I wonder? I'm just seeing hills, and I'm not really seeing many really interesting features. No sphinxes, no grand statues really. That's fine though. I would like oh, there we are. There's a statue. There's a bunny statue. We may start there. It's an auspicious location for reasons that I've just made up. Really, I've decided that bunny statues are auspicious. They probably are. I've not really gone far enough in the game to really know, as everyone who saw the stream knows all too well. I've played the game a little bit on and off since then. I actually really enjoyed this game, I'll be honest, but I've never really gone quite that far. I suffer from the same sort of thing that goes on with Dwarf Fortress. I enjoy starting the civilizations, but once I get reasonably well settled, something will distract me. Yes, that won't happen this time though. Oh no. Let's see. I'm also committed. One of the things that probably distracts me a little bit is that I don't spend enough time on building beautiful areas early on, and then I get a little bit sad because it's a lot harder to work them into a messy colony. So we're going to be aiming for that. Right, we've got nothing especially close. We've got some ruins, but none of them are really close to the water, and I would very much like to start near it. So we're probably going to start around here somewhere. Maybe in the shadow of this mountain we can dig back and do something with that. But we'll have easy access to this beautiful river down here. Now, it's not too deep. Oh, actually, no, it is too deep. Literally too deep. But not too deep. That will be good because that does form a natural barrier. So we could perhaps set up here. And we've got a couple of options to defend the place. It wouldn't be too difficult. I like that idea. I like it a lot, actually. We've got a couple of little bits and bobs here. So we're going to pop down our flag right about there. There we go. Look at that. Marvelous. This is grand. We've got 2 fennec foxes. That is also actually quite marvelous. We've got Day, befriended by Plumber Smack. Day is a carnivore. Will only eat meat. That will be difficult for you. And then Solace, befriended by Bubbles. Likewise, a carnivore. We're going to see how that goes. It may not go as well as we hope. Well, first things first, let's just quickly get all of our starting goods packed up and put somewhere nice. So we'll just pop them all down there. That should be good. We're going to accept everything in this initial stockpile, but we're not going to have that stockpile for over long. Right, let's start moving through. Please get everything sorted and just stacked up where you can. And if nothing else, then our fennec foxes can go ahead and chomp down. The next thing, I would like anyone really, to be getting some initial items. Now, we can resize with shift, mouse wheel, blah, blah, blah. Hold control to subtract regions, right click to exit. Actually, no, we won't gather and replant, really. Now, the thing with gather and replant does exactly what it says. If we end up with a seed, we'll put it back there. So actually, we want harvest instead. We want to get rid of all the things in our initial starting area so that we've got a little bit to play with. Let's grab all of those as well. We'll leave that big, beautiful tree there overhanging the water. Oh, that looks wonderful. I'm sure people will enjoy it. You'll notice the tree stumps. That's a little bit of extra wood. I don't believe that's in the base game. I think that's more of an Ace mod thing as well. And we've got a little bit of stone. Not too much, though. Right, well, our halflings are doing that. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we've got. Now, Big Al, honestly, with 5 body and 6 spirit, you're an amazing idea for an early warrior or perhaps later on then a cleric. So I'm going to go ahead and change your job. Let's go ahead and get you into being a footman. In honor of steadfast efforts and resilience, we hereby advance Big Al. Let's pause that for just a moment. Now, Big Al, we have got all sorts of different things with the Ace mod. So I do want to cover them here and there. Combat training. A footman can use training dummies to train their combat techniques and earn experience up to job level 3. So that would get us through damage up by 20%. Footman knows that all combat may have mortal consequences and attacks with renewed determination. Level 2 would give first responder. The footman charges into battle with speed. And level 3, academy graduate. The footman has finished their combat training and can now seek new opportunities, like trying to become a knight. We've got knights and archers up there. So go ahead and become our first footman, please. And indeed, thank you. Now, unfortunately, that's going to be sad there for a little while because we're going to need Big Al to get to level 3 footman fairly quickly so that we can make you into an archer and we can then have an archer. We've got a fennec fox, though, nearby. A fox messenger? A determined-looking fennec fox approaches, carrying in its snout a leather satchel with Iskender Caravan official mail stitched onto it. She drops it by the town standard and settles down, looking up expectantly. We're not going to skip any of these. Open the satchel. A letter from Amira Iskender. Dear Caravan 76, thank you for volunteering to establish a new outpost so far to the west. We here at the Iskender Trading Company are delighted that you chose us to facilitate your founding. Once the paperwork is in order, an official company caravan led by Agent Narial Iskender will start a new route to your outpost. Fantastic. To start, in order for us to enter your outpost into the company ledger, you must choose a name as well as a standard. The standard declares to the rest of Rayya's children the purpose behind your settling down, though we have found that it is even more effective at inspiring an outpost's own people. Once you have made your choice, please record them on the provided forms and send them back with Ark. And please be sure to feed her before she leaves. She prefers berries, but she'll accept prickly pears as well. It's a fennec fox. Surely this is an obligate carnival. Monkey keep you. Amira Iskender. Iskender Trading Company. We choose. Let's have a look then. Right, well, the name. We're Rayya's children. We're not on a desert planet. We're in a desert region of presumably a normal planet with several different biomes, but a man can dream. This shall be the settlement of Aavakeen. Naturally. Oh, it's got to have a capital letter, though. Oh, really? I've got to go all the way back. There we go. There we go. Aavakeen. Now, we've got the same 3 choices of banner. Banner of vitality. The settlement shall be at 1 with the environment. Trees produce 25% more wood. That might be good. Here, plants and crops grow 25% faster. We don't have anyone who can do that yet, but it might be good because these will be a little bit more difficult to come by in the desert. Banner of Strength. Mining gives 50% more ore, stone and clay. Now, clay would be very nice. Earthlings no longer mind cramped spaces. That does open up a lot of options for us when it comes to how we build. Banner of Cunning. Roads give 3 times their normal speed boost. Your items sell for 50% more, and traders will bring 2 times the goods and gold. Now, that one might be particularly good for us. The Rayya's children are more of a trading people, so that might be worth going, but I'm really tempted with the Banner of Strength, especially because as a desert people, I imagine they might seek shelter in caves a little bit. I mean, that's not based on real world things, intent, obviously, but given the option, the cool of a mountain abode, look, I'm a dwarf at heart, all right? I try to bend everything to dwarven way. We're going with Banner of Strength because I like it. And I need no other reason. Outpost established. There we go. Aavakeen. To be an outpost. On its way to be a safe haven for all. There we go. We'll get a little bit more clay as well, and that'll actually be quite good. Right, let's get everything set up. That would be Ark, I guess. Celebrating. Wow, you're gigantic. My lord. There we go. We should be able to get all of this stockpiled reasonably soon. Big Al is now a level 1 footman. I am so happy for you, Big Al. Well done, you. Let's get that done. Oh, you've already got damage up 20%. Oh, yes, that is a level 1 skill. There we are. Hooray! Very much hooray. You know what we should do, though? We should absolutely get this placed down so Big Al can do some training. There we go. Let's get that set up, please. And indeed, thank you. Now, while that's all going on, we have got quite a few people with decent ability to learn and high spirit still. You've got a very low body, so... but you're going to learn whatever job you're given really fast. So, Solwind, let's see about giving you a job. You are going to be a potter. Promoted to Potter. Level 1, you'll be a professional modelling. The Potter can, with patience and dedication, shape some clay blocks into nice artworks. And also, standard catalogue. The Potter can now make basic furniture and building adornments. I think that would be rather wise. Let's get that happening right now, please and thank you. Ark prods the satchel. Apparently, in addition to the letter, Ark satchel contains a smaller satchel full of coins, labelled Outpost Funding Incentive. 50 gold. That should be very useful, yes. Solwind is now a level 1 potter. Fantastic, Solwind. And the fox departs. Once the outpost founding forms are filled and back in the satchel. Were they filled in triplicate, though? That's important. Ark picks it up and starts on her journey back to the closest Iskender Trading Agency office. Monkey keep you, fox friend. There we go. Now that is going to break eventually. So we've got 2. I think we had to. Yes, we did. Good. We can always plonk down the second one as well. So that once this one breaks, which it will, we can immediately start work on the next. Now, I would very much like if we could have some places for people to sleep early on. That's going to be a really big thing for me. But we are going to need certain items. We're going to need some clay. We're going to want a splitting block because we are going to need somewhere to stick our firewood. Yes, you heard me, right? So let's go ahead and craft this. Now, we have got quality ingredients now, and that will have an effect on the quality of the item. You can't make high-tier items if you're making it out of rubbish. Haha. And I quite like that, actually. We will order, and I would like you to maintain 10 logs at any one time, please. And indeed, thank you. Let's go ahead and place down our splitting block. For now, just pop that there. Now, we'll chop logs into firewood, which will then be used for lighting fires and lighting torches and all sorts of things like that. And that'll actually be quite important. We've got a lot of stuff out there, though, that we need to bring in. So let's set up another one just right there. There we go. And people can get to grabbing things. But as I was saying, I want to try and get people into an abode as quickly as we can. Now, we are going to need some clay for that. So it all kind of works out. I'm going to make sure that we've got all of the equipment for manufacturing items, though, before we start building a house. Simply because otherwise we will struggle a little bit. So with that in mind, how about we chonk into this clay over here? I think this is clay. So let's go ahead And we will just start dragging all of this out like so, all the way down to this level, and then start demolishing the whole thing. Well, actually, if we do that, we're not going to be able to get up there. So that's probably wise that I don't. We'll go like this for now then instead. There we go. And we'll just dig that down, and then we'll lower the whole area. Right, we want to resume mining because it always starts turned off. That is an option. I believe that's in the base game. Solwind has reached Potter level 2 already. My lord, Solwind. Well done you. Let's have a look at what that means. Art for sale. The Potter can now make decorative items to liven up the town, or sell for money. Max health plus 10. Well done. Well done indeed. I approve. We're going to need this clay. Rather sharpish though. Now, we do seem to have some clay, so let's have a look at what we can get you to do. I would like a potter's wheel, which will be made from wood. Go ahead. Oh, you're already trying to make a replacement for that. That is fantastic. I absolutely approve. Go ahead and make me a potter's wheel, and then make me a potter's kiln right after that. Now, we will have a mason's clay chisel, and we can also make a herbalist staff. That's actually pretty good. I would like a clay firewood shed, though, if we can get one as quickly as we can. Let's get one of those made. There we go. And further to that, should we go for the mason's chisel? We probably should, actually. Sure. Let's get that one on the go. We can make the practice swords. Hopefully with the mason's chisel, we may be able to make some items such as the trapper's knife, because we are going to need a source of food reasonably fast. Right, let's pop down the potter's wheel. We'll have these down here for the time being. This is very temporary. I fully intend to get a proper workshop ASAP. But for now, let's just get these things in place. There we are. Now, you've gone through everything. Let's have a look at your level. Let's go to your character sheet and just have a quick gander at you. You know, you're getting there. It's going to take a while with just dummies for you to really level up, but that's fine. What have we got over there? We've got some bone material. Marvelous. Now, bones can be used to make bone clay. And again, that is something new with the Ace mod. Right, I want this whole area pretty much just dug down right all the way down to the bottom. There we are. And that should give us quite a lot of clay and maybe the odd rock or two. We're not going to get too much of that, though. I'll be honest, that is not going to be something that we're going to have the fortune of having too often unless we dig into actual mountains. Now, they've decided to use a whole log for the fire, which is a bit of a shame because firewood is a lot better for it. But with the log, you will get charcoal out of it, and that is a higher quality fuel. Now, if we have a look at the kiln, there are a bunch of things that we're going to be able to make now. In fact, we're going to pause this just there for the moment. Now, they are still waiting to make the new training dummies, and then we're going to be continually making more, which is actually pretty cool. But if we have a look at most things, well, actually, if we have a look at like clay bricks and the likes, we're going to need common fuels and things, and different tiers of fuels will be needed for different things. If you were making steel, you're going to need a much better quality of fuel than if you were, you know, in this case, firing clay into bricks. Makes sense when you think about it. Now, I would like, if we can get some very basic furniture, just so that our people can at least sit at a table while eating, that would also be quite lovely. So let's go ahead and create 2 chairs. We can also get kibble bowls, which is quite cool. Have we got any thatch? We've got 1 thatch. We could make a little bed then. That is a thing we can do. But right now, I would just like 5 beds. I know they're going to be sleeping under the stars, but it's better than not having anything to sleep on that's up off the sand. All kinds of little biting insects. No. Let's allow that to make some progress there. The bow, it's going to be a while before we can make use of that one, unfortunately. What are you currently making? Clay firewood shed. I approve. Please and thank you. Yes. I will take this and I will place it right away because that is going to clear up. Oh, I keep pressing R to rotate. Oh, whoever uses the bracket for rotation, my lord. Such an annoying thing. I just want 1 button. And R is such a good button for rotation. It starts with the right letter and everything. There we go. We've got that in place, and they will now use firewood bundles. So we should clear up a bit of room in our stockpile, and we'll store all the firewood in there. Marvellous. This reliable storage will keep a lot of firewood dry and ready to be used. There we are. And look at it. It looks lovely. I really like the clay crafts because of the little designs in them. It's actually really, really pretty. I really, really do enjoy it. Right. Okay, so with that done, we're probably going to need to start considering food. We could get wild cactus. This plant has been harvested and has not grown back yet. Oh, that's fine. Then you can stay then. Well, actually, we could move it across, I suppose. Just make it a little bit closer. We can start a little area down here. In fact, I've got a couple of things. Green wax plant seeds. I mean, it's not exactly great, but it'll do. And we are going to want to replant trees where we can, simply because we're going to want a nice and wild area for the eventual use of a trapper. Trapping will be greatly enhanced if there's an abundance of wilderness around the area that you're trapping. We're going to want to grab some of these as well, so go ahead and harvest that. And harvest this as well, please. There we go, that'll do. Right, there we are. Now, how is everything else in? There we go, we've got a mason's chisel. Brilliant. We've already planted some of the trees as well, which is equally fantastic. Right, okay, let's go ahead and have a look at what we've got on the go. Now, to make you, I need thatching. That is going to be a difficult requirement for us to come by. For now, that's going to be awkward. So, we're just going to have to wait on that, I'm afraid. Is there anything else we could do? Or want to do, for that matter? Well, actually, yes. We want some better storage options. Now, we can make a large urn, which will store up to 32 items. We can also make a ceramic supply basin, which a versatile container for any resource to help keep crafters supplied. I mean, let's get one of those, and we'll get maybe 4 large urns. That should be more than enough for our initial setup, I think. There we go. And whilst all that's going on, let's also get someone set up as our new crafter. Now, I'm going to say Bubbles, perhaps? Yeah, because of your 3 body, I think you're going to make a better crafter. So let's get you as a mason. Oh, we can't make you... Oh, no, we've got to wait for the potter. Damn Dragon Blast. Requires a level 2 potter and a mason's shovel crafted by the potter. Well, given that then, looks like Big Al is going to move on. So let's go ahead... sorry, not Big Al. Soulwind is going to move on. Change jobs. Already a good way to level 3, but let's make you a mason. And then we can have Bubbles switch to being a potter. There we are. It means that some of the things that you were making will need a little bit of time, but eventually Bubbles is going to be able to take care of that. Actually, we'll quickly have a look at this. Sculpting. The mason is able to use their talent and chisel to sculpt stone blocks like marble into statues. Standard catalogue, the mason can now make a solid array of basic furniture. Marvellous. Right, Bubbles, you got a new job. Let's get you to be a potter. There we are. Fantabulous. Right then, next up, we are going to want to place down some of the buildings that we've got. Namely, let's... I did it again! It's going to happen. It's going to happen a little bit until I played this for a few days and I've forgotten how to rotate things in other games that require the much more reasonable key of R. And that's going to be fun. Right, let's get all of these set up. Yes, again, sleeping under the stars is never going to be particularly nice, but at least it's autumn right now. So it's not going to be as bad as it could be. We'll also pop down... sure. We'll just have some clay set up in that little storage item there. Daily update. Let's have a look. We have not got nearly enough food, nor nearly enough net worth to get any more people to join us, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. We've got log embers. Turns into charcoal after a while and is retrieved when replaced for new fuel. Marvellous. Now, we have not got any resources being stored in this, but I want clay. All kinds of clay. All of the clay in there right now, please. And indeed, thank you. And whilst you're working on that, let's have a look at our mason. Right, we can make the mason's workbench, which is definitely something I would like to need. We can then make... Oh, let's pause that for a moment. We can then make a... Well, a mason's pedestal will take a little bit of a while. In fact, level 3. But we'll be able to make the trapper's knife at level 3 as well. Blacksmith's hammer, level 3. The cook's spoon at level 2. Very, very much worth it. The stone chest is a better container. Well, we'll be honest about that. It's a much better container. Could make some stone benches just for people to sit around with. Maybe even some lights, in fact. Which might be worth us doing, but we'll get the stone cutting table made before anything else. Yeah, you know what? Let's have a couple of these made. Let's get 4 benches made. There we are. That'll just give you a little bit to work on. In fact, with that in mind, and for that reason, I'm going to take away the large urns. Let's not work on the large urns. The chests are just better. The large urns will be a decorative item that I won't set up in any particular way for storage, but I think they'll be useful in people's rooms and the like. Now then, invaders approaching where? We've got stonelings. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. Right, now we're going to do for reals this time. Go ahead and everyone retreat and be at the ready. Actually, it looks like you're good. Go back to doing other things. You've already decided to get in there and start the fight. Good. Now, you should be okay, I'm hopeful. We will see about that. You may be a little bit hurt, but we have got beds for you at the very least. So that shouldn't be too terrible, all things considered. Right, have we got the stone? No, we haven't got the stone set up just yet. Right, one of them is down. What did we get from that? A hunk of sandstone. That's fine, but you have taken a lot of damage there. That's a little bit worrisome. We can easily turn up the speed. I would like to... Oh, it looks like the clay is being instantly stored in there. Fantastic. Well done, you. And this scanned agent approaches. All right, let's have a look at that. Actually, you can carry on going. Haha, there's nothing like the sight of a brand new outpost, eh? With your hard work, this desolate land will soon be a nexus of wealth and prosperity. We'll be back tomorrow with the whole store, but in the meantime, here's starting stake the company provided. 1 clay oil lamp, 1 pumpkin basket, 2 prickly pear baskets. Many thanks. That is actually quite lovely. Oh, so cute. Let's have a look. Ready for eating. Okay, well, you know, we've got a little bit of extra food, and we even got some thatch as well. That'll come from gathering from various wild plants, which I'm actually super happy with. Pear cactus, it's the invisible spines that really hurt. Yeah, that is quite true. All right, let's get that one down there, and we'll pop down our mason's workbench as well. There we go, and I almost pressed R to rotate. Haha, I'm learning slowly. There we go. Right, okay, so with that, I would say that we are now in a reasonable position to start thinking about a house. We're going to want more clay gathered first, probably, before we actually lay down the groundwork, and our trees are already starting to grow. That's marvelous. We will just have a quick gander, maybe make another clay... Oh, we can't. Drat, needs a level 2 potter, and we are not one of those. That is a bit of a shame, but we can do a few odds and sods. We can even make a gate setup if we really wanted to. I don't specifically want to at the moment, but it's something we can look into. We can go ahead though and start making a lot of clay bricks, and I think that would be a wise thing to do. Let's go ahead and make 15 of them for now, because we are going to want to use clay bricks for crafting all sorts of things. In fact, go ahead and make 20 of them. That should actually get you a fair bit of the way towards the level that we needed to have. Now we've got a few of the benches made, so we can set these up. Shall we set them up with the water? No, not right now. Not right now. We'll set them up. Honestly, we could set up a tiny little area for our pits to go in. And that might be nice, actually. Let's pop you down right about there. And then you across here as well. There we are. And then we should hopefully be able to move the pit right in the middle there. Oh, that'll look lovely. It truly will. And of an evening then, you guys can all just stand there. It'll be grand. lovely it will be. Truly. There we go. I like it. We should probably move this across as well. But we can't move... Well, actually, no, we can move it. I was expecting to not be able to move that until it was emptied, but that seems to be fine. We'll also move this. Now, this is not where it's going to live, but it'll do for now. It'll look quite nice, I think. So let's get that going. Your health is going to be an issue. I'm a little bit concerned. And by a little bit, I actually do mean quite a lot concerned. But hopefully, things will go okay. Hunk of feldspar. Okay, not too bad. We are going to want those chests reasonably soon. But I think that's enough for this first episode. We have got our little colony started. It isn't much to look at yet, but soon it will be grand. The next episode will be spent primarily getting some first buildings, maybe, question mark. Definitely a building with all of the beds inside. But we may aim to go for like some sort of grand structure, or maybe just enough to suit us for the time being, and then build up as we go. We'll see about that one. Whether we dig into mountains and live inside them, I'm not sold on that idea for this particular run, since it is what I did in the last one. But having it so that they don't mind cramped spaces does mean that we can go for a particular kind of aesthetic if we want to, with smaller houses, maybe clustered in a little bit more, maybe have like more of a bustling kind of bazaar feel to this place. We'll see about that in the future. But that is going to be it from me. I really do hope you have enjoyed and will in fact be joining me in the next episode. As I mentioned before, thank you very much to the patrons who are supporting the channel, and especially big thank you to those who are supporting the unending supply of toys for the ferrets. They really, really do appreciate it enormously. And your names are on the list automatically, but for those who are not able to support, you can also apply by just popping down a comment in the comment section down below. But that's it from me. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.